Well, hi Tubers, hi, I'm back with 22 Books 2022, and I was at a charity shop in Norwich the other week, and 6 books for £1 straight in Nurgles. Charity shops are like my things where I get most of my books from, because cheap books, helping the environment, helping charities, lovely. So, I've never read a book like this before in my entire life, and I read this in one sitting. It's called All My Friends Are Superheroes by Andrew Kaufman, okay? Right, it's not even a long book, it's more of a novella, okay? It's only 108 pages, okay? So it literally was one sitting. But it's insanity. This is absolute insanity. I've never read a book like this before in my entire life. Let me read the blurb. All of Tom's friends really are superheroes. Tom even married a superhero, the Perfectionist. But even at their wedding, the Perfectionist is hypnotized by her ex-Hypno to believe that Tom is invisible. Nothing he does can make her see him. 6 months later, the Perfectionist is sure that Tom has abandoned her. She's moving to Vancouver. She uses her superpowers to leave all the heartbreak behind. With no idea that Tom's beside her, she boards the plane. Tom has until they touch down to convince her that he's there or he'll lose her forever. And it says a wonderful and funny, heartbreaking tribute to love. Okay. This book makes zero sense when it comes to the superheroes, the alleged superheroes of these people. Some actually do appear to have superheroes, and some don't. Okay? Right. I mean, this bit here, okay, where he meets his friend the amphibian whilst he's cleaning out a pool. Okay? Now, the amphibian, okay, Tom looked at the amphibian's green skin, webbed feet, and webbed hands. He thought it was about to rip him limb from limb, and relief flooded through him when that didn't happen. No problem, Tom answered. What's your superpower? The amphibian asked. Superpower? Yeah, you know, your superpower. I don't have one, Tom told him. I'm just regular. Really? The amphibian introduced Tom to all his friends. All of the amphibian's friends were superheroes. The amphibian's friends becomes Tom's friends. Now, all of Tom's friends are superheroes, but because they all have a superpower, and everyone knows they have a superpower, and a superpower is nothing special to them. What's special to them is not having a superpower. They can't imagine how anyone could get through life without having a superpower. It's unbelievable to him. So they see Tom as being mundane, but some of these people's superpowers are just ridiculous. Now, Tom has spent his entire, it seems like, adult life dating superheroes, or superheroes, not even superheroes, people who have abilities, okay? And some of them are just like, what? Okay. I mean, this one I actually would love to have, okay? Right. Okay. Like, his first girlfriend was shrunk. Every time, okay, she loved Tom, okay, she shrunk a little bit more, okay? Okay, she was called Someday because every time, okay, she said, well, someday we'll have kids, someday with this, okay? And she just disappeared. Eventually, it's, okay, you disappear. Tom's second superhero girlfriend was TV Girl. As a child, TV Girl loved television. She empathised with the people on television in ways she couldn't with real life people. She watched so much television, caring so much about the people she watched that her connection to television became biological. She started crying televisions. When TV Girl was sad, little television sets would flow down her face. You would make a killing with that. You know, like in doll houses? Okay? Right, doll houses. That's a thing. Like, you cry and get like a little miniature dollhouse, little miniature TV. Tom wasn't very nice to TV Girl. He didn't have a television. He would go over to her apartment and be mean to her just to watch her cry. Tom isn't particularly that great. Tom has a lot of baggage. Okay? Right. So, at their wedding, he falls in love with the Perfectionist and then her ex-boyfriend, Hypno. But the thing is, only she can't see him. Everyone else can. Everyone else can see Tom. They can talk to Tom, interact. They can even be in the same house with Tom. At one bit, Tom is in the house having his ex-girlfriends extracted from his heart because he's broken-hearted. Okay, which sounds a bit bizarre, but that's literally that he's on the kitchen table having the ghost of a girlfriend's past extracted from his heart because his heart's breaking. Okay, his heart's too big, a bit like the Grinch. Yet the Perfectionist, she doesn't even get a name apart from the Perfectionist. Okay, she's in the same house watching this. She must be observing something. So she can't see Tom. What does she see? Just people randomly around her table, and she says nothing apart from the fact she takes up a smoking habit. Do you see what I mean? This makes zero sense, but it's captivating because it's so original. Okay? Right, in this bit here, okay, this is about Shadowless Man, okay? Tom's sitting there basically thinking, okay, about superheroes. And not the superheroes he talks about are in a connection with their relationships, how they made it work. And the Shadowless Man, I want to know more about the Shadowless Man. Get this bit here, this is a Shadowless Man, okay? Then one Wednesday, he woke up at 6:34. This was early for Henry Zimmerman. His shadow was sitting on the edge of his bed. I'm leaving you, his shadow told him. Zimmerman leaned on his elbow. He studied his shadow. It looked so tiny. Are you unhappy? He asked his shadow. Yes. Then you should go. Zimmerman's shadow hesitated. Almost impeccably, it nodded. He put himself to his feet and walked across the room and closed the bedroom door beside him. Henry Zimmerman was now the shadowless man. Tonight he'd made his wife fettuccine alfredo. It was the first time he'd cooked for her in 2.5 years. They had wine. He made her laugh. They opened a second bottle by the time they went to bed. Shadowless man started jogging. The message chores of vacuum almost became fun. On particular sunny days, the shadowless man would look down and notice the absence of his shadow. He remembered his shadow fondly, briefly wondered where it could be. But it doesn't happen very often. Okay, that's talking about, or maybe that's a metaphor for depression. Basically, the shadowless man lost his shadow, metaphorically, okay? As an idea, there's a lot of twists with this. Sometimes you wonder, superhero being a shadowless man, losing a shadow, well, the shadow of depression, okay? Did the shadowless man alleviate his depression? And maybe where he's standing in the sun. He doesn't get a shadow, depending on where you are. Okay. And once again, talking about these superheroes, this book is intercut with various superheroes, okay? And what they do, which is bizarre. Okay, this here, the couch surfer. Empowered with the ability to sustain life and limb without a job, steady companion or permanent place of residence, the couch surfer can be found roaming from couch to couch of friendly apartments all across the city. The couch surfer is not able to withstand long periods of acute poverty, but is also able to nutritionally sustain himself only a handful of breakfast cereal, slices of dry bread and condiments. Mysteriously always have cigarettes. Oh, we know someone like that. We all know someone like that, okay? That's what sort of superheroes could be in a bum, okay? And so Tom meets the perfectionist and is kind of struck by her perfection. Everything has to be exact. Now, it could be that a perfectionist has a form of maybe like OCD, okay? Because everything has to be exact. It has to be perfect. In a way, okay, it's not a superhero. That sounds actually quite hellish, right? But he falls in love with her, okay? And she falls in love with him. They even have an anxiety monster, okay? They have to like destroy before, okay? Which you wonder is in everyone's heads or not, right? Mhm. Right. I mean, the perfectionist is such a perfectionist. She has to stress again about snowflakes. It's a snow, she said. I can't organise the snowflakes. Tom wasn't in love with her yet. He just had a crush on her. So I wondered why she wanted such a thing. But he got dressed and they went outside to look at the snow. For inches had fallen. Everything was covered, the sidewalks hadn't cleared, and people were walking through the snow, leaving trails behind them. Right. I tried to organise them, but I couldn't, she said. Her eyes were full moon. She seemed to have stopped blinking. Tom didn't know what to do. Just close your eyes, Tom told the perfectionist. But I still see them, the perfectionist told Tom. He started shaking uncontrollably. Right. Why don't we try this? Tom drove out of the city, into the country, and stopped his car in front of a field completely covered in undisturbed snow. No animals, no people, nothing but the wind had been across it. Tom helped the perfectionist out of the car. They stood looking out the field of snow. Can you organise these snowflakes? He asked her. They already are, she said. And at that moment, Tom fell in love with her. So maybe in for this perspective, the perfectionist has OCD, and Tom knows the tricks to calm her down, to kind of not calm her down, just kind of help her through her situation. Right. So, but whilst this is all going on, Tom is trying to make his wife see her after hypnotized her. There's a word, but he doesn't know the word to break it. Every time he touches her, she reacts in a typical way, okay? Touches her at one point, she sneezes, she coughs, she jerks, but she cannot see him, okay? She cannot see him. And So she kind of still being the perfectionist, okay, but she smokes 600 cigarettes, okay, and she kind of loses her way a little bit. That's why she decides to to go to Vancouver from Toronto, okay, like the way they say it, right. But also when you get to the families as well, and there's this interesting bit here. This is when, okay, that after Tom proposes, she calls her two sisters, okay, right. This bit here, right. This is the face. Her other sister. What is it? Are superheroes. One is called the face, okay, right. And this bit here, right. The face is made a blank canvas because the face doesn't know what she looks like. A superhero power doesn't know what she looks like, okay. Which, by the way, is an actual disorder, okay. And some people who look in the mirror but can't see anything back, it actually is a disorder for that, okay. I'm not sure to look that up, right. The face that made the blank canvas had got an A+. Everyone agreed it was the most beautiful self-portrait they'd ever seen, and it looked exactly like her. The afternoon she started sewing a hood. She finished it the following Wednesday. She hasn't taken it off in 17 years. Right. Because, well, the face was 8 years old when she first noticed the photographs taken of her was slightly out of focus. When the face looked in the mirror, even if they kept very still, her reflection was always blurry. During high school she was popular but had no close friends. Right. Right. So, and after that she calls her sister, other one, named Donna at birth. Okay. Right. And she's called the elongated woman, who was named Donna at birth. On her 18th birthday, her boyfriend was in the passenger of a Toyota Corolla that was T-boned by a pickup truck. He died on his way to the hospital. For the next 3 years, all Donna could think about was timing. Okay? All she had to do was reach back in time and delay him. She stretched her arms. She stretched her arms down Queen Street, past people and streetcars. She stretched her arms onto the Gardenia Expressway. She stretched her arms faster than highway traffic. She reached back and stretched around, but she only put arms around the city. She can reach back in time. She's never forgiven herself. Right. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. It's called her other sister. It's called the Ticker. See what I mean? Right. So, the Ticker is a quiet superhero. It makes everyone nervous. And superpower is amazing potential. Sitting at the edge of party, responding to inquiries but never starting them. The Ticker's always watching and waiting, as is everyone else. Right. So she could be anything she wanted to, but what would that anything be? Brilliant art, mass crime, or a piece of medical school? And will she ever do it? Even the Ticker knows. Right. So, I mean, it's like, is this someone's relate? Are these actual superheroes? Or are these just people with, like, some kind of disability or disorders? I don't know. And that's the genius of this book, is that I don't, we have to figure this out as we go along, okay? I mean, this whole thing is Tom on this plane. Tom is on this plane next to his wife, who can't see him, going to Vancouver to start this new life, okay? But she's got to remember him by the time the plane touches down, otherwise the curse is never be lifted. But the fact is, it keeps going into these worlds with all these superheroes, but they're not superheroes. Maybe some of them actually are. There's the ambiguity. And as so much of these people are kind of, even the superheroes, are kind of written about in their connection with their relationships to others, is this just a metaphor for how people see them or how they treat people? Or is it just fantasy, like when a businessman finds the ability, as his name, to look at people and see what their net worth is? Or is that just someone with a really good ability? I mean, this bit here really kind of sums it up, okay? When it's talking about the other superheroes, okay? Right, this bit here. This actually made me laugh. Miss Clean as You Go. The most powerful superhero, the one everyone wishes they were, is Miss Clean as You Go. At the end of the day, she folds her clothes. She never leaves scissors on the table. Pens with no ink are thrown in the trash. Wet towels are always hung up. Dishes are washed directly after dinner. as nothing is left unsaid. She's the most powerful superhero. Right. So, yeah, but it's in suspense with Tom on this plane trying to get the perfectionist to see. Okay? And the ending, I think, as well, is very, very touching. Okay? All he has to do, okay, is just say one sentence and he finally figures it out to break this spell. Okay? And it took him long enough. So this is a book about superheroes, but it's also about relationships as well. The self-sacrifice, the things that we do for the ones that we love, and the ones through these characters we meet that we have to eventually love, learn, and sometimes even let go. Okay? Tom wants the perfectionist to see her, but at the same time, he just wants her to be happy. And he's watched her for the last 6 months not being happy. So that's pretty much it. So all My Friends Are Superheroes by Andrew Kaufman. I have never read a book or a novella like this before in my entire life. And I'm glad I did. I'm absolutely glad I did. So well done to you. So, and it's going to go back to charity shops. So it says steal it, buy it, but make sure you read it. Well, someone else is going to read this after me. Hope you enjoy it. Sign off here. 20 books 2022 from Great Yarmouth. Sign off. Bye now.